Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be here. And my name is Hyun Lee. I'm working at developer relations team at Line, and I'm the person in charge of open source. So my title is What is happening at Line with open source. So here comes my story. It has been over than 2 years since I joined Line, and my job title is Open Source Manager. So whenever I introduce myself, and most of people ask me, "What do you do?" So this is a brief introduction. So first, when our developer wants to make their project to open source, I review their project and check everything I can. Uh, uh, Quite nervous. I do make public speech frequently like this to let people know how Line is enthusiastic at open source. And I do internal speech to introduce our internal guideline to the newcomers and open source compliant, of course. And I rewrote the internal guide because it was quite outdated. So all of these tasks are has so different aspects, so it is quite still confusing to me, but I do enjoy my job. Yeah, so let me introduce our open source. We have our own repository at GitHub, and before we release a project, we consider this thing. First, naming, of course. We try to avoid trademark risk, and of course, security issue and licensing, documentation, governance, which means, for example, when someone make contribution, which rules should be applied or something. Actually, these two projects is quite special because they are made only for aiming for Dev Day. So please do not miss this talk today, 4:40. He will introduce his new open source. And tomorrow you can find our another new open source. You can see the private tag on the repo name, but you may find the public repo now, maybe. Yeah. This graph shows the number of open source libraries in line service. And these are the recent application that I reviewed. And I know it is too obvious, right? But I believe everyone here agree that using the open source in the right place in the right time is really important in development. But what I talk about is we are not just using them. We do contribute it back. So I brought some recent pull requests from us. The one is to OpenZipkin project. The other one is Presto. And last one is Gerrit. So I just brought the recent one. And I asked them who made a contribution to open source. I asked them how do they feel about it. So the one said he is so thrilled to work with the developers in the world, and they always give him a lot of insights and motivations. Actually, he gave me insights and motivations. And the other said showing his code to everyone, it comes to him as a big pressure, but he think it is worth it because he can learn from them, such as better coding practices or peer manners and engineering cultures in other companies. So based on my 2 years experience, I made a conclusion that how come Line developers are so into the open source? So the first reason, anyway. First one is we do collaborate with various developers in every single day. Every single day. As you can see, the emojis, we do meet really various characters every day. Yeah. You guys agree with that? Yeah. Of course, there is really various nationality, but there are so many different characters. It is quite interesting. And the other one is we are really free to speak our opinion. We respect others, and I feel sometimes I feel responsible on my words, but mostly I gain more confidence to speak another opinion. Last one is we do agree with the concept of the contributing back. So when we use the open source and when we patch the bug, most of us try to contribute it back to the open source. So these three are, I think, these three are the reason that line developer feels more easier to engage in open source communities. I would like to introduce our most beloved project from Line, which is Armeria. Uh, as you can see, we have 93 at the time when I made this slide, 93 direct contributors. Uh, the reason I brought this page is we care the community because we don't think open source has been made by few people like maintainer. We believe contributor should make together. So in this year, we hold this kind of contribution event named Armeria Sprint, which is the person who want to make their first contribution to this project and the maintainer gather together and ask the question for during the 2 days. And they made their first pull request. And I hope we can hold more events such like this next year, and I believe this journey never ends. Actually, the reason I I decide to make this talk is we are looking for the open source manager. If you feel interested in this kind of culture, open source culture, or line developers, please scan this QR code and check out this cool job description. And hope you enjoyed my talk. I may speak so fast. And thank you.